For years and years now, I thought long distance fishing was a bit of a dark art, but it turns out I just had the wrong tools for the job. In this video, we take a look at a brand new set of rods from Nash, the AirForce F20s, and these things can certainly punch a lead. Let's get into it. So this is the Nash AirForce F20 rod, and these are a little bit special. If you need something that can basically cover you for any situation that you might get into, there is something within this range for you. Now I'm going to break this video down into 5 sort of manageable sections just to make sure that I can get you all the information that you need to see if these are something for your angling. So what exactly is in the range? Now, as I've said, there is something for everyone. So let's try and figure out exactly which F20 rod is right for you. First up, let's talk about the 12-foot, 3.5 pound rod. And these are basically classed as the F20's version of an all-rounder. Suitable for 99% of anglers, 99% of the time. Perfect for lead sizes between 2.5 to 4 ounces. And basically capable of fishing at short, medium and long range. Fairly large PVA bags wouldn't be too much of a problem at all. It was all about making sure there was no compromise with the fish playing capabilities. The 12-foot 3.75 version is basically a stepped up version of that original AirForce 3.5 pound blank. It's designed for heavier leads and bigger distances without needing to step up to a 13-foot rod. Obviously, quite a lot of us still enjoy playing fish and casting with a 12-foot rod, and a lot of us don't want to make that change. I personally have recently used a set of 13-foot rods, and I found it a real struggle. It just wasn't my style. I much prefer a 12-foot rod. So if I had big distances to cast, then these are the ones I would go for. Next up, the 13-foot 3.5 pound test curve. Now this offers that extra tip speed to help get in those distances just that little bit easier. Now, as I did just mention, I am not a fan of 13-foot rods because basically they require quite a good technique when it comes to casting. And in all honesty, I don't see myself as a big caster. I certainly could do with a lesson or two. So yeah, if you've got a nice casting technique, then you will be able to benefit from the advantages that a 13-foot rod offers. Me personally, it is the 12-footer. Next, we move on to the 13-foot 3.75 pound test curve. Now, this is an absolute beast of a rod that is designed for extreme distances, and you will need a good casting technique to enable you to get the best out of that rod. But if you fit into that specialist category where long distance fishing is something that you pride yourself on and that you really enjoy, then these are the ones to go for. And of course, no rod range would be complete without the matching spod and marker rods. Now, these are available in both the 12 and 13 foot, and they come in a 5 pound test curves. These will put the largest of spods at the largest of distances without any problems whatsoever. So what makes the AirForce F20s a cut above the rest? Well, these have been put together with a rather special build. The blank and components that have been used, no expense has been spared, and the spec sheet that goes along with the carbon used on this blank wouldn't be out of place on a supercar. First of all, you've got that 30-ton high modulus carbon blank, which uses basically less resin to hold that carbon together, meaning the whole rod is lighter, crisper feeling, and can generate a massive amount of power with even a fairly poor casting technique like mine. One other massive benefit of that 30-ton carbon is the fact that these will not suffer from weakening over time. These blanks will stay as strong as the day you've got them for many years to come. So you can be assured that these are a good investment into your distance fishing, and they're not something that you're going to have to replace anytime soon. Throughout the entire blank, carbon is layered at 45-degree angles to reduce twist. The last thing that you want is the rod twisting all over the place mid-cast, because that causes a lack of power and inaccuracy. Obviously, because of that layering system that has been used throughout this blade, it's just a non-issue. Combine that with the CAD designed fast taper and you end up with a rod which is designed to help you increase tip speed. The faster the tip the rod is moving, the further your cast is going to go. Now, F20 rods all come as standard with a 580mm handle, and that's basically from the butt all the way to the base of the reel seat. And that handle length has been chosen because it offers the optimum amount of leverage for casting. These rods, as I said, have been designed with distance in mind, but the good thing is they're still capable of your normal everyday fishing as well. Now let's move on to some of the fixtures and fittings that make these rods look and perform so well. First of all, we have got the American Tackle Vortex Air Guides. Not only are they lightweight and durable, but they're perfect for braid, fluorocarbon or standard mono. Whatever line choice you make, you know that these are going to be suitable. Moving down from that, you've got the nice satin black American Tackle reel seat. Now these are a tried and tested style of reel seat and they will basically house any reel on the market. However, they do couple up very nicely with these LR10000s. Moving down again from that, you've got a nice carbon butt cap, and then right next to that, as you can see, you've got a Japanese shrink wrap handle. Now, I like Japanese shrink wrap on distance casting rods because I feel like they give you a really good purchase on the blank. At the end of the day, you're trying to put that lead as far as possible, so having a good grip on the rod is a key thing to have. Matte black whippings throughout, giving that sort of stealthy, almost custom built feel with the occasional fleck of an electric blue colour. These things really do look the part. Now the butt rings all start at 50mm and then they taper down progressively to a 16mm anti-frap tip ring. So as I said, the F20 rods are absolutely packed with tech to make sure that they perform their best, and then they've got all the fixtures and fittings that you would expect to make them look the part. If you ask me, I think these have got the full package. Now, of course, this wouldn't be complete if I didn't actually give this distance rod a bit of a thrashing. My maximum is roughly around the 130 yard mark, and it's been like that for as long as I can remember, really. Now, if you've previously watched the video when I went out with Henry to Girton fishery, he was fishing at 120 yards, and in all fairness, he was making it look kind of easy. So I'm hoping that with the new AirForce F20 rods, it might just be able to push my 130 limit over the mark. So what I've actually done is I've wrapped this rod up to 37.5 wraps, which I believe is 150 yards. Now 150 yards with a baited rig for me is really quite an achievement. So let's give it a go and see what happens. Well, to sound surprised at that is a bit of an understatement, actually. Henry did pre-warn me that these rods are a bit animal, and yeah, well, we didn't lie, because they certainly have got a bit of backbone. That is officially my longest ever cast with a baited rig. 150 yards, hitting the clip. I'm a bit blown away, if I'm honest. I now feel that I could actually go long distance fishing fairly competently, especially with a little bit more practice. Now, the actual setup I'm using, because obviously probably you guys are going to ask about that, we've got the 12-pound Skyline mono in yellow, which goes down to a 30-pound shock leader, and then we've just got a 4-ounce lead, and then one of Henry's famous Ronnie rigs. Now, this actually is Henry's rod and reel combo that I took off him at the end of our session at Girton. So yeah, overall, very, very impressed indeed, and these are a real tool. And of course, the bit that you are all waiting for, the costings. Now, these start at $179.99, which I actually think in the modern day carp fishing scene, that is an awful lot of rod for your money. If you're looking for distance rods that don't break the bank, then I think the F20 range is something to take note of. These outperform rods that are 2 or 3 times their price, and I am absolutely blown away with the quality of them. They certainly helped improve my casting, and hopefully they will do the same for you. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course make sure you hit that bell notification icon, because you definitely don't want to miss out on any of the latest content from myself and Neil. I'll see you in the next one.